Good afternoon, everyone. This is Robin Carter with Robin's Creations, and I'm here today to share my third video of some alternate projects or cards using the May 2022 paper pumpkin named Celebrating in Color. So the first two projects, in case you missed those, I demonstrated how to make these using the kit. And then my next video showed these. I did go in and use a best wishes on one of the cards, and I decided to color that in with the Stampin' blends. I thought it really made it pop. So that I did not show in the video. I did that afterwards, so just wanted to point that out to everybody. And so now I'm here to share the third set of projects I have. So if you are new to my channel, I'd really appreciate if you'd hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any videos, and hit the bell for notifications of when those videos come out. If you are an existing subscriber, I thank you for your subscription and helping me out with that. So let's get started with our third project. So this is the project I made using the envelopes and some additional cardstock from the kit. So one thing I didn't show, let me get my trimmer out, was how to cut the envelopes exactly to get all of these projects. All right, so here's my trimmer. So we're going to work on the Orchid Oasis. Well, I'll show you how to cut it with this one because I've already cut my Orchid Oasis. So I cut open the envelopes by trimming off each side so that it opens like this. And then I just trim it down into the area. So you can see where the groove is going to cut. And if you don't get it exactly, there's plenty of material to work with. So then I do that, and then I trim off the sides using the same method. This one is a little harder to see. It's not as bright. Okay, so I think that's good. So with this envelope, you can do this and this type of card. So I'm going to cut this first to 4 1/8. Looks like I need just a hair more off of that. Looks like it's all solid white. Got a little bit of fraying because I took just a little bit off. Okay, so I'll just start with this. So you want to cut it to 4 1/8, and that leaves plenty of room. So I'm going to try to cut a little more off so I don't get as much fraying this time. There we go. That was a clean cut. And now I want to cut this to 4 1/8. So you go to 4, and then here's the quarter. So between the 4 1/4 is 4 1/8. Okay, and save that for another project. So now that these are 4 1/8 this way, you'll want to cut your pieces for this card if you're following the alternates that I do. So you can get 3 of these, and you're going to want to cut this at 3/4 of an inch. So make sure you have, this one's kind of easy to tell that this is the 4 1/8 long. So you can cut 1, 2, and 1 more of those. So you can do 3 with 1 set of envelopes. So you'll do this to all of your envelopes, and you're left with this piece. Okay, so you'll be able to make 3 of these with 1 set of envelopes. You can make 6 if you use all 10 of your envelopes. Did I say 6? 5. Okay, there's 2 each of 5 colors. So that's what I'm trying to say. All right, so you're left with this piece. And so I decided rather than make a ton of those other cards, I would just use the rest and make this type of card. So here is the one in lime. And like I said, I've already cut the one and have the pieces ready for the Orchid Oasis one, and I'll create this one later. I could switch them up, but it doesn't matter. Okay, so now, I don't know if you can see, because it's very faint, it's color on color. I went in and used the happy stamp in the background on a diagonal. So we're going to do that now with the Orchid Oasis piece. I'm going to get my Stampin' Pierce mat and just a piece of scrap paper. You can see I've used this one a lot already. All right, and then you're going to get your happy stamp and your Orchid Oasis ink pad. I have a full-size ink pad. I also went ahead and inked me some spots. But for this big happy stamp, I'm going to, oops, for speed, and I just got my thumb all in that, use the big pad. All right, so how's my area? Check the screen there for what's all in view. Envelope scraps. I can throw those away to clean up my workspace. All right, so get your happy stamp out, and I have it on one of the blocks that you can purchase through the online store. I just find it's easier to hold on to than the one they give you in the paper pumpkin box on your first subscription. So we're going to ink that up, and I'm just going to start on a diagonal on this piece of paper. And this is tone on tone, Orchid Oasis on. Now I may have a hard time keeping my head out to do this. So the next time I'm going to line up the Y underneath that first P. And I'm just going to keep going. So I'm going to follow this. So this time I can't see the first P very much. So I'm going to start over here in the middle. Oops, I might have just messed that up, but luckily that part will be covered by the center piece. And then I just need the Y and the P. All right, the Y with the first P is there. Okay, this takes just a little bit of time. To cover it all. And then because I would have a little bit of a Y there, I'm going to go ahead and put that in there. Oops. And the Y with the first P, then the H. Doing this in a hurry, so I have a little bit of a wobble there. And I'm just going to finish that with some letters. Okay, so there is our background piece with the happy stamped over and over. Let me clean my stamp real quick. And like I say, I always go off on some scrap paper. This is the envelope. Just, oh, that was probably kind of loud. To get the extra ink off so I don't have to clean my chamois as much. I'll get inked up. So this is my chamois that I cut in half and then cut another half just so I can manipulate it better. Okay, so there's our stamping for the background. Let me close this up so I don't get my thumb in it again. And here was our envelope piece left that I showed you how to cut earlier. And I have a piece of, well, you know what? I didn't tell you what that measurement ends up being. So let's do that real quick. So you should have a 3" by 4 1/8 inch piece here. So for the matting piece, I did a 4 1/4 by 3 1/8. You know, I'm going to write that down so I don't forget. for my class participants real quick, and then you can see it as well. So the matte white is 3 1/8 by 4 1/4. And your envelope piece is 3 by 4 1/8 inch. Okay? So that way I'll have that to put on the back of the envelope for the class instructions. All right, so now I'm just going to adhere this to this. And as y'all know, I have my liquid Tombow glue in a little squeeze bottle just to get it out. I store these all in the clamshell boxes that we had back when we had wood-mounted stamps. How many of you were here when you had to actually cut the stamps apart yourself when the red rubber stamps were not already cut for you? I remember the first thing I bought was an alphabet set, and it was a lot of work to cut those for stamping. All right, so just a real thin border around this, and I'm going to rub the glue around since the envelope paper is very thin. Okay, then I'm going to put this here. You know, for variety, I think I'm going to put the darker part in the corner, whereas last time I did the lighter part. So just to make it different. I hope you guys are enjoying these alternates. I love making alternates with the kits and seeing what we can come up with. I'm just going to eyeball the center of that. Okay, now we only had 2 of the gold happy folders, but we have this happy stamp, and I've already pre-cut some. So I'm going to actually show you how to color these in using the water painters. Oh, that one has a little smudge. I'm going to get a different happy. So these are the water painters, and they come in a set of 3. And I fill them with 91% alcohol. It dries quicker, and I find it doesn't peel up the white paper. You may want to use thick paper. It will withstand the water a little better as well. So what I do to watercolor is I get a thin block. Now this time I use the little paper pumpkin block that they give us. It's not very thick. So I'm going to use my spot. You can use full-size ink pad. It doesn't matter. To put some Orchid Oasis on the block. Okay, that's a lot. Hopefully that's enough to finish. And then I have some alcohol. So this is in a little hair salon coloring toolkit. And so I use that to actually fill my watercolor. So when they're empty, I have this fine tip to fill it up with. I also have some in one of these thin glue bottles as well, if you prefer. So I just put some alcohol drops on there. You could squeeze it right out of your water painter, but I just do that to save. And then you want to mix this around. All right, and then go off the side so it's not as runny. You may want a paper towel too, just to get off some of the water. And then I'm just going to color in the happy. I found that Memento ink works okay so long as you stamp it ahead of time. Stays on would for sure not run, but I haven't had my Memento run. So if you have the blends, obviously you can do the blends. So when you do the blends though, you lose the black outline. That one was colored with my blends. We're going to color this one with the water painter. I'm using the finer tip one so I can hopefully stay within the lines, within reason. And you may get some lighter and darker areas, and I find that's okay, that gives it a little interest. I need to finish my H. But the other thing, depending on your climate in your house and outside, your alcohol may dry up, and then you just squeeze a little more on it to reactivate it. I did try this with the blender pen, and it really just didn't work well. I found that this worked better if you don't have the blends. All right, so I'm going to put another drop. It's kind of drying on my block. That's what the 91%, it dries really fast. That's why it does better on the paper than just water. I probably should have already done some of these to speed up the video, but thought y'all might want to see me actually paint. Not that I'm an artist, for sure. Wow, that one's drying quick. Yep. Okay. All right, so there's our happy. You can just go back and fill in some areas if you see some white areas to get it like you like it. All right, so there is our happy. And then what I do to clear this out is I squeeze some alcohol and or get my alcohol and run it on the brush and then just kind of squeeze it. So your little tip will be stained, but as you can see, there's no more color. Let me find a white space. There's no more color coming off of it. So that tells you that it's cleaned. All right, so I'm going to get this out of the way so I don't stick my card in there. And we have our happy. And so this I'm just going to put on a plain white card base. And then the happy, I'm going to do at a diagonal to kind of match my background. And I want to do that with dimensionals. I think I've got some minis here to use. And I need to get my take your pick tool because I get those all over my fingernail. I have two there. It's kind of stuck together. You know what, I'm going to put one on each letter just so it stands up well. All right, and then I'm gonna get my trash out of the way. Looks like a trashy desktop. Oop, didn't get that one. I always have to touch to see if I got them all. Seems like one I missed. Nope. Okay. So then I want to put this at a diagonal on dimensionals, and I already know what I messed up. I didn't add my ribbon around there. So I do have the Orchid Oasis ribbon, which I would tie around there. So I guess now I'm just going to do a bow. So see, on this card, tie it around your piece first. Let's see if I can, probably can't get it up since I used liquid glue. And the paper, you know what, I'm not going to do that. That's going to mess it up. I could just do a strip here, not attached, or you know what, since I haven't put it on my card base, I can go around the whole thing. So I'm going to use my ribbon saving technique that I've shown before, and I'm pretty sure this goes around a whole card front. Any size bottle would work that you have, but here's my ribbon saving technique. So you get a bottle or a cup or whatever you have that you think is big enough. And I think I've showed this before. So Like I line that up here and go across. And so that's going to be more than enough area to tape it on the back. All right, so take it across and just tie my bow like normal. Setting the camera. My ball's wanting to slide all over. Oops, I pulled a fine strand of that. Okay, so you get your bow about the size you like it and your tails, and then you just cut it off. So it's still on the spool at this point, you can see. Then I cut off my tail, and now you didn't save any ribbon, or didn't waste any ribbon by estimating how much you need and tying it. Then you slide it off your cup or bottle, and you decide where you want to put it. So if you want it more on the left, you'll want to cut not quite down the center, which is what I'm going to do. So here's my ribbon. This would be the center. I'm going to do it just a little left of center. And then I'm going to tape it to the back of the card. So one, that helps me not bend my paper by trying to get my ribbon tight. And it saves ribbon. And I can fussy with my bow till I get it like I like it. Now you can see I could have used a smaller bottle, but I had that on hand, and since I messed up the first one, there, that goes all the way across, and that'll go on our card front. And then I've already stamped, and this one I did in black. These I did in the coordinating blend color, but I was kind of bringing out the black of that. And that I'm just going to glue down flat on my card. So I guess it was a good thing I didn't put that on a card base yet. I thought I'd save time. You guys know how to put stuff on a card base. And I'm going to do that just a little hanging off the edge. Or which do you like? You let me know. I think I like that better. Okay, so there's our alternate. So as you saw, you can get 3 with each of the 5 card fronts, or envelope pieces, excuse me, and then 1 of each design with the remainder. So if you use all 10 of your envelopes, you can get 6 of these type. You'll just have to come up with your own sentiment because we only had 2 of these and 2 of these. I thought this happy worked just as well. There's some others that I've already colored to do my Tahitian Tide and my parakeet party with. So that right there gets you plenty of cards from this kit and uses most of the materials. So I haven't come up with anything yet on the U card. I'm still thinking about whether just to make it like it is or not. So like I said, just hit subscribe below and ring the bell for notifications in case I come out with anything else. So I'll just quickly show you all the alternates I've made with my 3 videos. And if you missed any of those videos, you can go back into my channel and watch those and see how I made these cards. So thanks for joining me today. If you have any questions, let me know in the comment section below. I also love hearing your comments of what you think about the cards and the alternates. And I have in the details below links to my blog, as well as how to subscribe with Paper Pumpkin, and any specials going on would also kind of be there or linked in my blog. So check out the additional descriptions and always click the View More button that shows you the whole thing because it cuts off just a short part of it. So thanks for joining me today. I hope you liked these alternates and it gave you some inspiration. Have a great day.